We usually think of anger as this bad thing, right? A problem we need to solve, a fire we have to put out. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Today, we're going to explore how to turn this powerful emotion from something you fight into an ally that actually guides you.
So let's just ask this question head on. What if all that energy you spend wrestling with your anger, trying to push it down, what if you could channel it into something, I don't know, constructive? Because that simple shift in perspective, that's the key to unlocking what your anger is really trying to tell you.
The poem that's kind of guiding us through this whole thing kicks off with these lines, and wow, they get right to the point. It doesn't just talk about anger, it plunges us straight into that raw, intense feeling. It's something we all know, for sure. All right, so before we can get to the good part, making anger our ally, we have to be real about its dark side. We have to respect its power when it's out of control. So let's look at how it can just completely consume us. Think about it. It almost never starts at a 10. Anger isn't just a feeling that sits there. It's more like an engine. It starts with one tiny spark, and then, just like the poem says, it starts to feed on itself, always on the hunt for more fuel. And as it finds that fuel, it grows. And it doesn't just get bigger, it gets more and more intense. It stops being an emotion you feel and starts becoming the emotion that runs the entire show. And this is where things get serious. This is the takeover. All of your other thoughts, things like logic, compassion, perspective, they just get shoved out of the way. Anger moves into every corner of your mind, and it just hits replay on the same frustrating thoughts, over and over and over again. And here's this really weird, kind of fascinating paradox about anger. In that moment, in the heat of it, you feel this incredible destructive energy, right? But at the exact same time, you're totally stuck. You're completely paralyzed by the very thing that feels like it's breaking everything apart. So when you put all that together, you get what the poem calls the chaotic flame. This is that moment where anger just leaves reason behind. It's a force that takes up all our strengths, and you're just left drained. And its unpredictable nature means it just crawls into every single corner of our lives. This is the version of anger we're all taught to be afraid of. But what if that's the problem? What if trying to fight this flame is just totally the wrong way to go about it? What if we could change our relationship with it entirely? This right here is the turning point, shifting from fighting it to understanding it. This is where the poem throws us a lifeline. It offers this invitation to break the cycle and be free. Now, this isn't about destroying anger. It's about breaking the vicious cycle of letting it consume us. And that freedom, it comes from a totally new approach. And boom, here it is. This is the absolute core of the whole idea. We stop seeing anger as this chaotic flame that we have to put out, and we start seeing it as a messenger. A messenger that, just like the poem says, wants to show you something. So the goal is no longer to beat it, but simply to listen. I mean, it really all comes down to this one single powerful idea. The way to transform your relationship with anger isn't through fighting it or pushing it down. It's through understanding. That's the key that unlocks absolutely everything else. Okay, so let's get practical. If understanding is the key, how do we actually do that? How do we start listening? Well, the very first step is something called validation. The poem paints this amazing picture of anger as a void needing addressing, an emotion needing attention. See, it's not a monster. It's a signal that something is genuinely wrong. So when you validate it, it's like you're giving it what the poem calls a seat at my table. You're finally acknowledging it's there. Okay, so this gives us a really clear 4-step playbook. First, you identify its essence. Don't just stop at, I'm mad. Dig deeper. Why? Is it injustice? Is it disrespect? Is it fear? Second, you listen. Treat it like a source of data. What is it actually telling you? That a boundary was crossed? That one of your core values was violated? Just hear it out. Third, you nurture it with compassion. Instead of beating yourself up for being angry, just acknowledge the hurt that's underneath it all. And fourth, you educate it. This is where you give that raw energy a job. You basically say, okay, anger, I hear you. Now let's use your power to solve this thing constructively. And you know what? When you actually start doing this, when you apply this strategy, something pretty incredible starts to happen. Anger stops being a destructive fire, and it becomes this powerful source of fuel for real positive change. It actually becomes your ally. The result? It's huge. It's real personal growth. You literally learn from your anger. It helps you get crystal clear on your own boundaries, your own values, and that helps you become more present and more authentic in your own life. So, this new version of anger, this transformed state, we can call it constructive anger. It's the same powerful emotion, but now it's got a purpose. As the source material puts it, it has flexible direction and correct precision. It's no longer a chaotic flame, it's a focused tool. And honestly, this is the ultimate reward. This is the real payoff. Instead of burning down your present, your anger actually starts to fuel your future. It gives you the energy, the motivation to tackle problems, to go after your goals, and to build the life you really want. So think about that. That same raw, chaotic energy that used to leave you feeling stuck and paralyzed, now it's the very thing pushing you forward. It's the engine that literally drives you toward your destination, with purpose and with clarity. So we're kind of back where we started, but now everything looks different, right? Your anger isn't a flaw, it's a messenger, and it has a vital piece of information that is meant just for you. So the only question left is, are you ready to listen?